Ladies and gentlemen, how many of you think that Buzz Lightyear would beat Mr. Incredible in a fight? This scenario is something I pondered for years during my childhood. And to be honest, I miss these childlike thoughts. I miss my childhood. Let me put it this way. I miss the imaginative freedom that defines childhood. The ability to daydream about the most random things and do fun things at any time of day without worry. As a child, I used my imagination in so many different ways. For example, I would spend hours doodling and writing stories about Pixar characters on the insides of my notebooks. I'd imagine a story, put pencil to paper, and write whatever that would come to mind. It didn't matter if my stories didn't make any sense, because I was having fun. Something else I used to do as a kid was dressing up in costumes, switching on a video camera, and shooting a movie. In those brief glimpses before the camera, I was no longer Shivaan. I was able to shed my identity and assume a new one. This new identity didn't care about anything but his superpowers and how to save the world from the clutches of supervillains. And yet, although I miss it now, I didn't appreciate my imaginative freedom enough then. My mind's focus became set on more important things. Grades, success, saving my own future instead of saving the world's. Additionally, I envied the liberties that older people seemed to enjoy. While adults were able to go out and live their best lives, my fun was restricted to watching Disney Channel or playing in the park. In comparison, my reality seemed bleak, and it really didn't help that I was 4 feet tall with a squeaky voice. The desire to experience this supposed freedom and the abandonment of my childhood creative ventures marked the beginning of the end for my imaginative freedom. I was no longer interested in pondering the winner of a fight between Buzz Lightyear and Mr. Incredible. But let's analyze this so-called freedom that I was convinced that my elders held. Enlightenment thinker Thomas Hobbes dedicated his life to theorizing freedom. And while there are nuances in his thoughts, the idea that freedom requires the absence of external interference from others is a recurring theme. Are adults really free then? Do the pressures of success and time not constantly interfere in their lives? If you really think about it, kids have more freedom than any of us. Because of their imaginative freedom, their minds are free from these pressures, and they're able to think through the lens of a mind uninfluenced by rigid notions and ideas. It is only later in their lives that this freedom is stripped away from them. As they age, they might gain greater control, but they lose their freedom to truly imagine. Think of your mind as a playground, colorful and boundless during childhood. The swings carry you to the clouds of imagination, and the sandbox's possibilities feel endless. You're able to take risks and try new things, like climbing up the slides instead of using the stairs or standing up on the swings. You're able to choose what you want to play with and how you want to play, pushing the limits of your creativity. But as the years pass and you grow up, the playground gets less and less fun. The swings don't take you as high as they used to, and the sandbox's possibilities start to feel a little less endless, because your mind becomes set in its ways, no longer able to explore the unlimited possibilities of the playground. But why does this happen? It's because as we age, our mind's freedom to imagine becomes weighed down by the rules of the real world. In a 2017 study conducted by a group of psychologists at UC Berkeley, researchers found that our creativity tends to decline as we age because we lose our flexibility and develop monolithic perspectives. Adults constantly choose imitation over innovation because they believe in tried and tested methods over trying new things. The ability to explore freely is lost because it's risky. Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Why? Simply put, imagination is not constrained to the limited and bleak possibilities of what is quote-unquote achievable. Instead, imagination flourishes and nurtures original thoughts. In a study conducted by a group of psychologists in a 2015 issue of the Cognitive Development Journal, found that all kids engage in make-believe scenarios, as I did in my doodling and my filmmaking. However, these researchers also argue that children are able to form abstract ideas in a way that is consistent with the ability to find problems and develop solutions, an ability that society prizes so highly. The research claims that the ideas that children generate are new because they are created solely from thinking and not from preconceived notions that limit us to rigid thinking. Furthermore, Francesca Agino writes in the 2018 September-October edition of the Harvard Business Review that higher levels of curiosity lead to enhanced innovation and improved communication in the workplace. Even on a practical level, imagination still matters. The loss of imaginative freedom that we experience as we leave our childhood places barriers on our mind, controlling its capabilities. To hold on to our imaginative freedom, we have to break these barriers down. But how? 1, think of Steve Jobs' words. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Choose the non-obvious, because that's where creativity is found. Even if that non-obvious choice seems risky and foolish at first. Children are not afraid of coming off as foolish, a fear that inhibits the thinking of so many. 2, researchers at UNC Greensboro published in the 2014 issue of the journal Psychology of Aesthetics, Creativity, and the Arts that incorporating creative action into our daily lives hones our imagination. Document your creativity. Get that notebook or camera. Doodle away. Make that video that you've always wanted to make. 3, the UC Berkeley study I cited earlier found that children are more likely to change their perspectives as they accommodate new learnings. Be flexible. We become attached to our ideas and notions, believing that they are more valuable because of our experience and knowledge. This is the problem. We have to ignore what we know. Take time to discover. Innovation and creativity are not things that can come through shortcuts. We must keep our playgrounds bright. By holding on to our imaginative freedom, we secure our mind from preconceived notions that hinder our ability to innovate and form original ideas. Our mind swings need to swing high, and once in a while, we have to contemplate the winner of a fight between Buzz Lightyear and Mr. Incredible, random as it may seem. Because trust me, that childlike imagination will take you further in life than any conventional, mature mind ever could. Thank you.